put on this computer. All right, guys. So this is our prep call from our Mother's Day's post Mother's Day fast. The idea behind this fast is we're gonna try to kick off on Sunday. I would suggest the latest you shut down is 6 p.m. just because if this is the first time you've ever done this, it's gonna what window you pick makes a big difference in the success that you're gonna have in completing the fast. So I would suggest the earlier you shut down, the better, but don't try not to make try that it doesn't pass 6 p.m. We're gonna be sharing everything through our chat. You should already be added to it. If you haven't, reach out to the person that invited you here. Make sure you get two things. You're invited to the actual WhatsApp chat, and then also you want to be part of our fasting circle. There's an app that comes with the link. It's called Life, and that app basically helps you track your fast. It's very encouraging. You're going to be automatically added to our personal circle, and there's a dashboard where you'll be able to see all the people that are fasting with you as we're doing this. So aside from the chat, you're also going to have access to our app. The first thing I want to tell you is you have to go into this with an open mind. I know for a long time, so that you understand how I started my journey in 2020 when pandemic hit. My body was changing. I had just hit 40. I realized that what I was doing before wasn't working anymore. I was coming from a place where I was doing time nutrition, eating every 3 hours, working out, doing 1 hour workouts. Intensity was strong. But all of a sudden, as I started getting older, my body started changing, and what I was doing before wasn't working anymore. And I got frustrated, and I was like, what's happening? And I started researching, and I started seeing that hormones had something big to do with the fact that I was not losing weight like before, and that the fact that I was intaking food every 3 hours wasn't working anymore. So I started researching, and I found fasting. And it took me 2 years to conquer 16 hours. Believe it or not. I started with getting an hour of my dinner and pushing it back an hour, and getting my breakfast and pushing it back an hour, and I would do 13 hours and 14, then I worked my way to 15, and it took me 2 years to be able to conquer what I thought was what was intermittent fasting, which was a 16-8. And after doing that for a while, I also realized that my cycle and my hormones were being affected with the fasting, because we cannot fast like men fast. And it got to a point where I was fasting 20 hours every single day, and it wasn't working for me in the sense that I was kind of stressed out. I was pissed off. I was angry. And come January, I found a book called Fast Like a Girl. And it was a book that is intended to teach you how to fast so that you can fast with your cycle. I'm currently on my 4th round of doing this, and it has dramatically changed how I feel, my libido, my menstrual cycle, my cramps. It is a total different way of living, of approaching your life. If you start reading the book, you're going to realize that what it does, it breaks your cycle in 3 different phases, what is called the power phase, the manifestation phase, and the nurture phase. And I don't want to overwhelm you with this, but what ends up happening is that you're going to go ahead and treat your life and your lifestyle according to where you are in this phase. And I know that for a long time, and the book tells you when you get a hold of it, that we were never taught about hormone health. It's not something that's common. But once you start experiencing and it starts happening to you, and you start gaining the weight, and you start realizing that it's something that if the hormones are going to run our life for the next 20 years, we have to learn about them. And as much as we want to kill the workouts and torture ourselves and be rough and mean to ourselves, we're still animals. We're still animals to the core. And at the end, if we learn to work with that instinct, with the ebbs and flows of our menstrual cycle, not only are we going to be able to conquer our weight, but how we feel, but then also how we look physically. You're going to realize that these phases start taking this mental control of you, and you start working with the phases, which is beautiful because it gives you time to relax when you're in nurture phase, and it gives you time to go balls to the wall when you're in power phase. Now, while maybe this to you might sound a little complex, it's something that it's easy. It's very easy to follow. And once you do your first cycle, your second cycle, you start getting used to it and it becomes second nature. So for the 24-hour fast, what I would suggest, the first thing that's going to happen is it is going to be a little harder than normal because most of us are going to eat really dirty on Sunday. Okay, because one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is you can eat whatever you want when you fast. That is a lie, especially if you want to have the health benefits that come with fasting. It's not about eating whatever you want. It's about fueling your body correctly so that you can reap the benefits of fasting. So the two things you're going to want to have, and I've already shared it in the chat, but I'll go ahead and link them, is MCT oil. This is a coconut-based fat. You put it in your coffee, you can put it in your tea. And what it does is basically it gives you, they call it a fat bomb. It gives you a little bit of that, you know, so that it can hold you over. It kills your hunger. It does help with focus and it doesn't break fast. What I do is I just put a squirt. They say you have to be careful with it because if you put too much, you're going to run to the bathroom. You don't want to do that either. So what I normally do is I have a dropper and I'll put like a little drop in my coffee and I'll put it maybe 2 or 3 drops in I don't pass a teaspoon a day. And then the other thing you're going to want to get is electrolytes and teas. These, if you order them on Amazon, you'll have them the next day. Like sometimes they even do it like overnight. You'll wake up and they'll be in your doorstep. The thing with this is that it has magnesium, it has minerals. It will hold the hunger. And also, the sodium and the magnesium is very good for lifting. So whenever, if you're doing a workout program and you're lifting, it's gonna help. What I would suggest for most people, and like I said, I know most of us are gonna eat dirty, but what you want to try to stay away from is dirty oils and dirty carbs. Those are going to be the two things that are going to make you the hungriest if you eat them. Because if you eat them, what happens is your glycemic index spikes up. And if you're going to fast and the prior hours, your glycemic index has been up the roof, okay, that coming down, believe it or not, is what's going to cause you to be hungry. So try to stay away from that. Usually you want to try to have healthy fats are great. You want to be hormone feasting, which is basically nuts, anything. And I try to get them raw and roasted. You want to get nuts, nut butters, help, avocado, hummus, proteins, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to the 24-hour fast, it's the fast that is gonna, they say, resets your gut. That's like the best benefit that comes from it. If it's the first time you're gonna do it, and I know we're gonna get a little graphic here, you're gonna go to the bathroom. You're gonna let stuff go. It's gonna feel weird. That's normal. That's a good thing. That means you're letting off all the backed up shit. Literally, because it's something that it's not whatever people ask me, and I'm telling you, it's normal. It's easier than you think. What else can I say about it? And I think that's about it. I mean, like, I think I've shared pretty much. I don't know if anybody else wants to share or has questions. I mean, pretty much that's the gist of it. Has anyone here not done have anyone here done a 24-hour fast before other than Amy?
Yes, I just did my 25 this past.
I know you did. How do you feel? And you know what? I know Sio comes from a place of having huge stomach issues. Do you want to share a little bit of
Yeah, that's something that I have noticed lately with the fasting. I do have a lot of stomach issues. And one thing that I noticed the first time around when I was doing like 16 and when I actually started doing the 16 and after that, that's when I noticed that I was going to the bathroom at least 3 times during the day, which to me was like never happened. So that's one of the changes that I've noticed, that this has helped me, like, to go to the bathroom more often. I'm drinking a lot of more water than what I used to be drinking. So, from my, personal experience, it's been, helping me with, being more normal to go to the bathroom than usual. And I was really surprised when I did the 25, and I was like, okay, I think I could go for more, but I think I could, slow it down a little. But it's been great. I honestly have to say it's been great. There's been days that's been harder than others, but again, I stick like to the water, to the teas, and just try to do that. I'm gonna try the oils that you just say. I just don't like the coconut taste, but I don't know if it does taste a lot like coconut.
Amy, you muted.
It doesn't taste like anything.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because that's what I was afraid of.
No, it's coconut. It comes from coconut, but it doesn't taste like anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The
but
most I
like,
can tell you is that when you take a sip of your coffee, it just feels like you got like lip balm. Like you put a natural lip moisturizer. You get that
okay.
little that sensation of moisturizer, but there's
Uh-huh.
no taste. It doesn't change the taste of your coffee.
Okay, good.
Louis hates it though. He says it makes his coffee taste oily.
Oh,
Es a fat bomb que tú quieres.
exactly. But
Si,
yeah, but
si me va a quitar el hambre y me va a dar cinturita, me importa tres carajos.
but that's the experience that I've been having so far. Just the whole thing with my stomach. And like what you said, when you start eating dirty, like sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, I just want to have something that I normally don't. I'm not eating. Oh my God, I have like the biggest stomach pains. I mean, it just changes everything, and I'm like, fuck, I can't eat this anymore. Like I have to now really, really being conscious of what I'm eating and how much of a difference it makes. Like, the minute that I put that I'm not supposed to be eating, my stomach just blows like into a bubble. So I'm like, no, I can't do it. So I have to stick now to what I normally eat, all the healthy fats, everything that's good for your body, for your gut. So it's been great, so I can't wait to do this again, 25, and I'm trying to push it to go even 30, but I'll get there.
Well, it's funny because one of the things it took me 2 years to be able to conquer the 16.8, but what really actually helped me go to 36 was the fact that one of the girls jumped on into our chat that she really was in a health issue. She was having health problems, and they were going to give her hormones, they were going to give her all this stuff. And she was like, no. And she had read that the 72-hour fast could heal her. And she did the 72-hour fast. And when I saw that she had done the 72-hour fast, it will push me to do the 36. And then from there, I did the 48. And it's, you know what it is? It's like the story of the guy that beats the 4-minute mile. For years, nobody could beat the 4-minute mile. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes and runs a 3:40 something. And then everybody after that started beating it because they realized it was possible. So even though I'm the one that started the group, it was somebody else that pushed me to realize that 36 wasn't that bad. And then when I did 48, I was like, this is not even that bad. And then it's funny because, believe it or not, I have my husband that would tell me que no podía pasar 10 horas sin comer, me corto las venas. No me burle. But that's how he was. And now he's here. When is your next power place? We're going to do 30. I'm going to do 36 hours. I'm going to drink everything. I'm going to make it happen. Right? I'm so proud of you. He's going to do it. Isn't it awesome? So I wanted Amy to share a little bit before we end the call, because this is what it's all about. And if you guys know anybody that wants to or can use this, it works better when we do it together. And it's because of that. It's because we prove to each other that it's possible. Like while I started the group, it was JB that pushed me to realize that I could do 36, So I want her to share a little bit because she's someone that didn't have to wait 2 years to conquer a 36-hour fast. She did it quicker. And I remember clearly when I first told her to try this, she was like, but I'm so scared. And I'm like, what are you so scared of? And she's like, I'll be hungry. I'm gonna be hungry, knowing that I don't have to eat, that I can't eat. I'm gonna want to eat more. So I wanted to share a little bit because she's someone that not only has conquered it, but conquered it quicker. And if we can get people to keep conquering it quicker and quicker and quicker, we're winning. So go, Amy.
No, and honestly, I think, listening back to you talk about how it took you like the 2 years, the only reason it didn't take me 2 years is because I wasn't doing it alone. Because if I would have been going into this like you were doing, behind the scenes, figuring it out for your own like hormone investigation, like, yeah, like I had the balls to do it because I'm like, okay, Amy said I could do it, I'm gonna do it. And oh, there's somebody else doing it, then let's do it. And that really, I remember that first long fast. It was so refreshing to be able to just go to the chat and be like, caballero, hay hambre. Like, what do I do? Go for a walk. Okay, nature. Let me get out into nature. Let me go for a walk. Toma agua. Okay, a galón de agua. And it's like in those first like moments, you're like, you're feeling for someone to help you because you don't want to think about, you're going to be hungry. Like this, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's magical, you're never hungry. Like, no, bro, you're gonna be hungry because your body's going through you're adapting to a different lifestyle. And in any sort of adaptation, you're gonna feel different. And in this case, hungry. So knowing that I had a grupito to like lean on made a huge difference. One thing, and exactly like Amy said, I'm the type of person, I work from home. I didn't always work from home, but I work from home now. And I'm always multitasking in my house, but my kitchen is like the center of my house. So pasa pa acá, and it's like, oh, a little thing. And it's not that I would sit in my kitchen and eat like bags of chips or cookies. It was just the constant, like, so what happened for me was I had my second child, she's not even 2 yet, and I was trying to lose the weight. Okay, super fast story. I lost 100 pounds after my first son, and it wasn't easy as pie. It was hard. It was hard work. But after my daughter, I didn't have 100 pounds to lose, but it was still like it was becoming a lot more challenging. And there was a 6-year gap. And so this 32-year-old that had a baby is now a 37-year-old that had a baby. And your body at 37 is just going to adapt and bounce back differently. And I'm like, okay, what I did after Lucas is not necessarily working now. I am always leaning on Amy for ideas on what to do with my health and fitness. And when I saw she was tapping into the fasting, I'm like, let me see what this is about. I briefly started with intermittent fasting, doing the 16-8. Yo la seguía la bola. What is Amy doing? Okay, this. What is she doing now? Okay, let me get the book. Let me learn. Because learning, I think, has been critical in this process. Like, we lean from each other, we learn from each other, we lean on each other, but also self-education is key. I keep the book. It's literally next to my nightstand because I go back to it often. Like when I'm going through the phases Amy was talking about, I think one of the biggest takeaways I took from this book is not just that like it is a totally doable to fast in this way, but it's how you feel your body. And I think CEO was saying it too. Like one of the biggest takeaways I've taken from this is that when you do break fast, after you've read this book, you become so much more mindful of what you're putting into your body, because this woman, Dr. Mindy, I call Dr. Mindy because I can't pronounce her last name. Dr. Mindy has really broken down how like what you put in your body, when you put it into your body, what your hormones are doing all the time. Like we are such a beautiful machine. And in order to keep this machine moving at its best, you got to start applying all the different things and benefits that you can do to be able to get yourself to operate at its best. And so when I first, started getting into this, my fear was that I was going to be starving. And what I've been able to do, and I've done 24 and 36-hour fast. I'd say probably I've done like 5 or 6 of them. And every time it gets a little bit easier. Every time I feel the benefits of like the energy, the focus, the clarity. But what makes that difference is because as I go along, I tweak what I'm eating before and after. And I think that is huge. I didn't necessarily believe it at first. And I remember one day I did a 36-hour fast and I ate like crap before. and I wasn't mindful of what I ate after. And I felt the difference. I felt the difference in my body and how I felt. So I think the major takeaway is that it's doable. You can certainly like lean into the group to help you get through those hard moments, because you're gonna want to break, but you don't, because you have us to lean on. Make sure that you stay hydrated. If you don't have like one of those big daddy mugs that everybody has these days, go get a gallon of water at La Vaquita or at CVS or whatever, and just have that with you, because you realize like sometimes you'll feel like, I don't know if it happens to me, like I'll feel my lips dry and it's like, okay, I need to hydrate. You're not like, your mouth feels dry, you go, oh, I need to get a little something, I need to get a little snack. No, you need to drink some water. And you see, and water, coffee, and the electrolytes, that will carry you through this, not easily, but it'll carry you through this with more ease, so that you gain that confidence to do it again and do it again. And like anything else in life, with repetition, it gets easier. And then you start to notice the benefits more, so you want to do it more. And so, yeah, that I can talk all day. So, por favor, pull the plug, porque sí.
Thank you, Amy. You're so cute. All right, guys, does anybody have any questions? Well, one of the most common questions people are going to ask me is, what's the best way to break fast? Okay, and what I am going to tell you is that when you come from a 24-hour fast, especially if you haven't done one before, and especially if you're coming from a place of that you're going to be eating dirty because you're going to have the dessert, you're going to come from drinking, all those things. My suggestion, this is not, everybody's not the same, but you want to have, I usually break fast with a broth. What I do is I make a chicken soup where all it has is chicken thighs with no skin, salt, pepper. I'm going to share the recipe in the chat. Salt, pepper, garlic, onions, a little bit of carrots, and a little bit of aminos. And I go ahead, I boil that, and I'll take that with me. And what I'll do is I'll drink the caldito first. I warm it up. I usually wait about 30 minutes after I have that, because it kind of like coats my stomach. Remember, you are, and again, you're going to be go to the bathroom and bad things are happening in the bathroom. That's normal, especially if you've eaten dirty. You're cleaning your intestines out of all these things. And again, the 24-hour fast is known as the gut reset. So that is what's happening. Your gut is cleaning itself out. So you want something warm that's going to coat your stomach, that's going to prepare for you to be able to eat. You don't want to break fast with fruit. You don't want to break fast with juice. Why? Because your glycemic index, it has sugar, and it's going to be high in the glycemic index, and your sugar is going to spike really high. So try to do healthy fats, protein. Anything. One thing that I do with the soup is I add a little bit of ghee. Ghee is a healthy fat, and it will also help you stay in ketosis while you're still eating. So I'll have my soup, and then you might want to have a protein. You can have carbs. Carbs are not something you want to stay away from, but have natural carbs. You can have sweet potato, you can have quinoa, brown rice, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for our call. I'm gonna go ahead and share this in the chat. Again, the chat is open. Please ask away. We're gonna have pro fasters in there, people that have been doing this for a while. We have people that are brand new, but the whole point is for us to all lean on each other. What I am gonna ask you on Sunday is, and I'll post it Sunday morning. I'm gonna be feeding you guys. I'm gonna share with you guys the woman that we follow, which is Dr., which I can never pronounce her last name either. Don't worry. I think it's an ESO thing. I'm going to be sharing more about the book. I'll be feeding a lot of information from here till Sunday, but what I'm going to ask everybody on Sunday is to share when they've shut down and to take a picture, a screenshot of the app so that we can keep each other accountable, and then we'll work ourselves from there. You guys ready? All right. Happy Mother's Day to all you lovely ladies. I'll be sharing this call. Thank you, Amy, for helping me host this. I'm excited. Thank you, Jasenia, for showing your face on a Friday at 8 p.m. Ya pueden tomar, beber, pasarla bien, porque el domingo we fix it all. Love you, ladies. Have a good one. Catch you on the flip side.